Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Exploring Places Unknown. And I have one of my favorite guests on again, Jessica. And I've been meaning to talk to her for some time. And here we are again, just kind of diving back into some spiritual things and living life. So, how are you today, Jess?
I'm amazing. Thank you so much for asking, and thank you for having me on here. How are you?
Great. I've been looking forward to talking to you again. We went over some really good stuff last time. And so it left me with thinking and pondering about a lot of the stuff you talked about, the spiritual side of stuff. And I wanted to kind of dive more into that. So we may go down different trails,
Cool.
but I feel like you have a lot to share. And, you know, so I'm going to just go ahead and jump right in, basically.
Cool. Sounds good.
And intuition, which we were just talking about. Um, I was or I have been thinking about how do you cultivate intuition? And I think you kind of gave me a little bit of it in our last episode. And if you guys haven't heard the first episode with her, I recommend going back and checking that out. But how do you cultivate intuition to where you can recognize it and say, okay, this is the path I need to go?
It's so interesting that you asked me that because I remember back when I wanted to become a psychic medium and I took a tarot class and they were like, use your intuition, use your intuition. I'm like, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is at all. And I was even Googling it. I was like, what is intuition? And it's like a gut feeling. I'm like, that doesn't mean anything to me. I don't remember ever having any gut feelings. So basically, it can be a little hard to develop at first because it is not logical in any way, and we are raised in a very logical, I guess, if you want to call it that, society. We are basically kind of taught to ignore our feelings, to push them down, that they're uncomfortable. Like logic, the brain is the thing that is valued the most in our world, in our society. And what's cool is actually like your imagination is clairvoyance. So when you can see pictures in your mind, when you can like if I tell you to think of an apple right now and if you can imagine in your mind an apple, that is clairvoyance. That is you using your third eye. Excuse me. It is we just are told even like we're even told not to use our imagination. We're told like not to follow our dreams. Like our dreams are not it's just like so much of it gets shut down, but it's also by people who had the same thing done to them. It's like they're basically passing down to us what they learned because that is what has worked for them up until this point. So with intuition, there is clairvoyance, there's clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance, clair oh my God, so many there's a few other ones. I don't remember them, but even when you can feel other people's emotions, like people will say like, "Oh, I'm an empath." Well, there's also a bit of clairsentience in there. When you feel the emotions of other people, that is clairsentience. When you have like a random thought pop into your head, because clairaudience could be that you like audibly hear things, or it could be just like you hear other people's thoughts. But that's the thing is like a lot of our thoughts are not our own thoughts. But we don't know that. We think that we are just like in our minds, but like even me specifically, like I think like 90% of the shame that I have felt in my life was not even my own shame. It was the shame of everybody around me. And I picked it up and took it on as my own. So with intuition, and of course, it's like it can be really hard to trust, especially in the beginning, because you don't know if you're right or wrong. If you're someone who is like me, especially in the beginning, where you need to know if you're right or wrong about something, you're likely not going to get that unless you start doing something like reading tarot and having the people in front of you confirm what you are saying. You might be like, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm just like I'm just going off of what I'm feeling from the cards or what I know about the cards in front of me, and they'll be like, wow, that was so accurate. So then you don't even know until you get the confirmation. But if you want to develop your intuition, it could be something as simple as asking your heart Like maybe you have 2 hours of downtime and you're asking your heart, like, what is it that I want to do right now from my heart space? Not like, what do I have to do next? What is the next on my to-do list? Like, what do I want to do? What does my heart want? And if your heart goes, I want to go for a walk outside, and then you go, "Oh, well, it's too hot outside for that." No. Take the freaking walk, go do the thing. There's something in that for you. You may not know what it is, but there's still something there. So does that kind of go into what you wanted to go over?
Yes. And then some. Because every time I hear you talk, I'm sitting here looking back at myself like, well, yeah, these experiences happen to me as well. And I think that our intuition is kind of like our secret weapon, so to speak. And do you feel like intuition is like something that ultimately leads to our freedom, basically?
Mm, no, I want to say yes. I do want to say yes. I will tell you, at least in my personal, okay, look, this is not going to apply to everybody. If you look at like my Mayan calendar astrology and uh my regular astrology and all my stuff, like my thing in my lifetime is transformation, but in every single aspect. So in me listening to my intuition, it both has it has freed me in, oh Jesus. Okay. I basically I went from working, you know, full time and in corporate as a quality assurance supervisor, just kind of like stuck in the matrix doing those things, to listening to my heart and choosing to leave my day job to focus on my business and, pursue the whole psychic medium, energy healer, self-worth and authenticity coach thing. And it has very, very, very much pushed me out of my comfort zone in so many ways, but it has also been incredibly rewarding. Like I was even thinking to myself the other day, I was driving to this place where my intuition was telling me to go because I have some like gut health issues that I've been experiencing. And so I'm going to this, it's a nutrition response therapy or something. And the point is, I had to drive on what was basically my old commute. And I had to pass by this one place that I had applied to for a job. This was like a year ago. And I don't remember even the name of the company, but I remember I had tried for a year to get out of my position at my job then. And I was so close to getting out. I even spent 3 hours the night before I had to take a test with my friend Ryan, who like taught me how to use Microsoft Excel, and I got it down. I did the thing. I took the test, and I didn't. I went 2 months without hearing anything, and I didn't get the job, and I was so disappointed. And then I was like, okay, universe, I freaking get it. The next step is not to get another job. The next step is to leave my job and focus on my business. So fine, I will do it. I will do it. I will do it. And then I left my job a few months later. But as I was driving, I thought about this and I was like, if I had gotten that job, I would still be stuck. I would still be in toxicity. I would still be in the hostility. I would not know anywhere near as amazing people as I do today. Like I have gone through, oh, like death after death after death of my old self over these last 9 months since I left my day job. And it has been very challenging. It has been so hard. But at the same time, I'm so grateful for all of this because I wouldn't have so many amazing people in my life who actually like love me and support me. So following your intuition can turn your whole life upside down if you're not doing what you're meant to be doing.
Do you feel like you had a choice for that new path for yourself? Or, I think some people, I feel like maybe some people may be forced to make decisions. Do you feel like that thought to start your own business was just you heard it and you reacted to it?
Well, actually, I had been wanting to do it for the past couple years before. Like I started technically doing all this in November of 2022, but I was waiting to leave until like I got everything up and going. Like I was working on it, but the thing is, the way that my job was, the toxicity and the hostility, like I had zero energy for myself. Like I would get home and I would just be completely exhausted and I just had no time to work on it. So it was either continue to stay at this place that was incredibly toxic and hostile and like even like my nervous system was so triggered. Like I felt like I was walking on eggshells there. It was just anxiety and it was just so much. And there was no capacity for me to be able to focus on growing my business. So it was like I could stay here and just have things get worse and worse and worse. And then hopefully one day maybe be like forced out, or I can claim my power, like step into my power and make the decision
Yeah.
to leave and do the thing, which I'm going to say was absolutely fucking terrifying. I was so scared. But I will say I was incredibly grateful when I left. I like even just putting in my notice, I felt so free knowing that I was leaving that place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you follow your intuition like that, doesn't it it strengthens your confidence in your decisions, right?
It does. It can. I will say that there have been times over the last few months where things have been so hard that I was like, why did I do that to myself? Why did I leave? Why did I blah, blah, blah? Like I could be blah, blah, blah. And it was just, you know, there is a grieving process that comes when you leave behind the old way of being, the old quote, like security net, the security blanket, basically. And that is also something that I've had to work through is like learning how to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. When go to a 9 to 5 every day, it's not even 9 to 5, it's 8 to 5. Like, stop saying 9 to 5. um, when you go to that, like you have this idea that there is this safety or this security because you're getting a paycheck every 2 weeks. But that's not necessarily true. The safety is an illusion because at any point they could just like let you go and like bam, there it is. Um, so I don't even know where I was
That's
going with that.
interesting.
But oh yeah, the safety comes within you. Like you are your own safety. And a lot of people like that doesn't make any sense to them and you wouldn't really know unless you put yourself in situations where you felt unsafe, but then come out the other side being like, "Oh, I did the thing. Like I am the safety. I can take care of myself."
That's good. It's interesting that you said that that's an illusion.
Mm.
That you know, and I think I've probably held on to that in my own life with different jobs and or relationships or something like that, and not really trusting myself fully.
Yeah, we are also kind of raised to not trust ourselves. It's again, no, we're not blaming anybody for that because people are just passing down what they've learned. So even something as simple as like you're not trusted to go out and do something on your own because the world is dangerous. So then you feel scared. You feel like you need somebody to go with you. You feel like you need like an adult or something. And it's not that they don't trust you, they don't trust the world, but you perceive it as a child as you cannot be trusted yourself. So you grow up basically not trusting yourself and not trusting your decisions, but it's not even just about not trusting your decisions in that way. It is if you grow up in an environment where you want to make certain decisions, but what you want is not what they want, then you risk being basically rejected or abandoned or just not belonging. But we as humans, we deeply at our core, we want to belong. So then we don't trust our own decision making anymore. We don't trust ourselves because we're like, well, if I do what I want to do, that's not going to get me love and affection. It's going to get me abandonment and rejection. So the whole not trusting yourself thing comes from so many different angles. But yeah, when you start to learn how to like navigate trusting your intuition, you don't really have anybody to confirm that for you. You can use things like oracle cards and tarot cards to sort of ask for advice and to sort of point you in the right direction, which I have been using those very much lately. Um, that is kind of really the only confirmation that you'll get until you eventually learn way down the road, if you ever learn, why you are being pulled towards doing that thing.
That's really good. Do you want to kind of talk about what you're about to do in the next couple of days?
Oh God. Okay, yeah. So I got this intuitive hit back in January after I came back from the Dominican Republic. I was on a retreat in the Dominican Republic. That whole thing was just so transformative for me. It pushed me out of my comfort zone in so many ways. I thought I was going to die like 12 times, but I didn't. Clearly,
Wow.
well, because my brain perceives new experiences as like danger and that you're going to die. So, like flying on a plane by yourself, I'm going to die, but obviously I didn't die. So, um, and I did like this intuitive exercise about like where am I going to go next? Um, and I got this image of the Rocky Mountains, and then I got an image of Colorado, and then I was like, Colorado? I have zero attachment or desire to go to Colorado. Like, why is this showing up? But I'm curious enough about it to actually just see what the hell happens. Like, I don't know, maybe I go there and I meet someone and they have an amazing opportunity, or I meet like soul family, or I discover more about who I am, or I learn more about which direction I really want to go in life. Like, I have no idea what this is about, but I am going. I'm going to be staying with a friend. And other than that, though, I'm just gonna, I guess, feel into what it is that I really want to do while I'm there. I know I definitely want to go see some really cool mountain stuff because I've never been out that way. I haven't been west. Like I haven't even been in the central time zone. I've been in the eastern time zone, and I've been to Iceland, I've been to London, I've been to the Dominican Republic. But yeah, so I'm excited and also kind of scared at the same time of like what am I doing? Why?
Yeah. I well, Colorado, I actually love that place, and the Rockies is amazing. It's magical to me.
Yeah.
And just being in nature is more of a spiritual thing for me. It's like a rooting, grounding for me.
Mhm.
Just getting in that space with no technology. Now, I'll have my smartwatch, so I don't get lost, but it's beautiful going there for me. So like when you're out there, are you more so looking to interact with people, or is it just a personal thing where you're getting away to kind of figure out what's going on?
No, I'm definitely looking for, I don't know what I'm looking for, but I definitely want to talk to people because what I've learned, like when I was in the Dominican Republic back in January, is apparently I really like connecting with people. I did not know that back then because I had been like, I didn't know my heart was closed for so long. And my heart was cracked open there, and now I'm like, wow, I really like deeply connecting with people. So I would love to just like start talking to people randomly. Like me and my friend are going to go to a concert on Sunday. It's called like the Movement Pepper Tribal Seeds or something. I have no idea. I haven't even listened to them yet. I don't know what kind of music it is, but I could just like talk to anyone and everyone, and it's going to be so amazing. And I I have no idea. I'm gonna have just no expectations because I don't know what to expect. And I don't know, maybe I will just kind of stumble upon something that kind of points me in the direction to go for like this next chapter of my life because I feel like something is changing, something is shifting. Like I need to kind of go in a sort of a different direction, but not like a wildly different direction. Um, so yeah, let's see what happens.
Yeah. So like when you mentioned connecting deeply with people, like what does that look like? Like how do you connect deeply with people?
This is just really getting to know them on a soul level. Like, I'm not really into the surface level conversations, which is like, how's the weather? I'm like, I don't care about the weather.
Right.
Like, cool, the weather is great, but I want to know what people's passions are, what really makes them light up, what makes them spark. I want to know about even like the darkest sides of their histories. I want to know about their childhoods, not in the way where it's like, tell me about your childhood. It's not like that. It's I want to see people beneath the surface. And also I want people to see me there too, which is also kind of crazy
Yeah.
because I was like, no, no, I don't want anybody to see me. And now I'm like, let's see everything about everyone. Like, we are so multifaceted. We are such multidimensional beings. And we are all so concerned with these tiny material things. We're also concerned with the way that our bodies look. We're also concerned about all like the little things. When if you look at yourself as a holistic person, you are incredibly amazing and incredibly beautiful.
Do you have like an issue with being judgmental or anything? Like if somebody told you their darkest side, what you want to know, would that make you look at them differently?
I would like to say that it that I don't see things differently. I may initially see them differently, but that would be because something in me gets triggered. So if I find myself judging somebody, it's because there's something about that particular thing that I judge myself for. So I do judge people. I'm not perfect and I don't want to judge people. I'm learning how to, like, when I notice that I am judging somebody, even on like the surface level, I have to ask myself, where is that coming from? Like, what wound is being triggered there for me? So if somebody tells me something about them, I generally, especially if it's deep stuff, I generally am not judgmental. Like, it's not my job to judge people. But if I do find that I am judging someone, well, first of all, I'm not going to tell them, like, I'm not going to do that. But secondly, if I am judging, it's because there's something within me that needs to be healed, which is a me problem. It's not a them problem. Then I get to go,
If
oh,
you
yay, I
if
get to explore this.
so if you have a client who has their heart closed off, how do you help them open their heart more?
Oh, so first, it needs to be done in a way that they perceive is safer, which generally in the beginning, opening your heart to others is not really perceived as safe. You feel safer if you're going to kind of do it within yourself. So, opening your heart when it's closed off would be things like writing letters to people who harmed you or who wronged you, and then burning those letters. Like, write whatever you want in the letters. Don't feel guilty about it, especially if the person has passed and you're afraid that they're gonna like know how you feel because they passed. They don't care. They want you to heal. So, writing letters, burning them, ripping them up and putting them in like a bowl of water or something. Um, Oh, like doing the exercise I was saying earlier, which is like asking your heart what it wants. It is even like doing something like watching romantic movies and opening your heart that way. It's about feeling, it's about allowing yourself to feel. And as you raise your frequency, and I'm saying this because this is what happened to me, as you raise your frequency, people will you won't have people reflect your shadow side anywhere near as much as they will reflect to you your higher self. And when that happens, you may find yourself being like, this is so weird. Like, people are telling me that I'm amazing. People are telling me that I'm wonderful, that I'm inspiring. Whereas before, people were trying to push me down and make me quiet and like to make me like hide myself. So, as you work on like opening your heart and raising your frequency, people are going to start reflecting that back to you, which honestly does help that process go faster.
I've been at that stage. I'm still going through that stage. And I think a lot of times when people would say, "Oh, Trey, you are awesome," and et cetera, I'd be like, "Nah, no, I'm not." But really, I should be embracing that.
Yes, 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 yes. So we are our own, basically like worst critics, our worst, what is it? There's something about not, okay, okay. For me personally, success was expected. So, like, when I got good grades, it was like, good job. You got the good grades. But when somebody would get a poor grade, then you would be punished for having the poor grade. So then you grow up with this thing like, as long as I do well, as long as I am amazing, then I'm doing well. But then when somebody goes to celebrate you, then you're like, I'm literally just doing what I'm supposed to do. Like, we just shut those compliments down because we're like, no, 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 no. Don't see me. If you see me as amazing, then it's going to make other people feel bad about themselves. And I don't want the spotlight on me because I don't want them to hate me for being amazing. It's a couple different things.
That's good. Um, I know I'm kind of going topic to topic,
It's
but
okay.
like I said, I really love talking to you and I learned so much. Um, Another big one is forgiveness. That's something I struggle with. How do you balance that out? Because let's say I'll think about something in my past or something someone did to me. How do I truly forgive someone? Have you, I'm sure you've gone through that, but like, what's your advice, so to speak?
What has been most helpful for me is being able to see things from the bigger picture, like zooming out big time and realizing that the people that hurt us are just wounded children. They are people who were hurt very badly when they were younger. And realizing that the people are wounded children, they they've gone through their own traumas, but they're not aware of the traumas. They're not aware of why they do the things that they do. They may be aware that what they're doing is hurting somebody, but like they're coming from a very wounded space. So if you can, like, as an example, if you have childhood trauma because you had parents that like were in the middle of their own shit, they are acting from their own traumas from when they were children. But that's the thing is it's also it goes back to their parents and their parents and their parents and it just keeps going. So if you can like have some compassion and empathy, that doesn't mean that what they did was okay. It just means that you can kind of understand a little bit better and know that you yourself are not perfect, that you have operated from your own traumas at points in your life, which I have also learned about myself recently as I've had some things come up to trigger me. And I'm like, wow, that is some really old stuff. And I was aware of what I wanted to do, and that what I wanted to do would be very harmful and had to choose differently. Not everybody is at that place to be able to recognize when they are being triggered and they want to behave in a certain way that is harmful or hurtful, and then go, oh, wait a second, I don't want to do that. Because, like, that was me also years ago. I was just reacting from a triggered place. So, the whole forgiveness thing, it's also really important to forgive yourself because whether you realize it or not, like you have things that you need to forgive yourself for. And I know when people have told me, like, you need to forgive you, like now it's starting to make sense what I need to forgive myself for. But there are a lot of things that I haven't forgiven myself for that I don't remember that I need to forgive myself for. So, like, as an example, recently I was in a plant medicine ceremony and I decided I was going to lay down and just say the Ho'oponopono prayer over and over again, the one where you like are forgiving, basically. It's the forget, yeah. And I had the memory come up of when I had to put down my cat in January 2017. And I sobbed. I sobbed so hard because, like, while that was a long time ago, I realized I hadn't forgiven myself for having to make that decision because in my mind, I could have done more. I could have done better. But if I had done that, she would have had a really poor quality of life. And So I had to forgive myself for that. I'm still not even sure that I've 100% forgiven myself for it, honestly, but I did realize I don't even bother, like, because I'm also a medium, I don't even bother reaching out to her or asking her for help or anything because I felt so undeserving of all of that because of how guilty and terrible I felt. So it's not just forgiving others, but it's also forgiving yourself. And if you don't know what to forgive yourself for yet, that's okay. But a good start would be to forgive yourself for all the times in your life where you kind of self-abandoned or self-betrayed by by saying yes when you wanted to say no, or by allowing somebody to treat you a certain way that you really did not deserve to be treated in.
And with forgiveness, do you ever get to the place where it doesn't hurt? Or is that something that kind of, or is that the definition of true forgiveness, that it doesn't hurt you anymore?
Hmm. I want to say I'm not 100% sure, honestly. I want to say forgiveness is when you have released that pain. When you've released the pain, but sometimes there are layers to it where you can forgive someone. I believe you can forgive somebody for something, but the pain could still be there because there's something else that is triggering that pain that is a layer to it. Does that make sense?
Yes. And you just, I guess, need to identify what that is.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't really want to talk about the weather with you. That's why I'm like, let's dive into some stuff. Um, I know in our last episode, which it's doing really well on YouTube, by the way, um, we talked about energy, quantum realm stuff.
Mm.
Um, I've tried to dive into that on my own just to learn more about it. Could you go over that again for me?
Okay, I will try to describe it the best way that I understand it because again, it's not logical at all. And, like if we're going to try to make it logical, if we're going to try to make it scientific, everything is made of energy, which can be hard to believe, but now quantum physics is finally kind of getting somewhere with this, where if you were to zoom in to an atom with I guess I don't even know what it's a kind of a microscope that but it's like an atomic microscope or something. I don't remember what it's called. But if you zoom in all the way, not even all the way, you zoom in almost all the way, and this particle, this atom, starts to get kind of fuzzy. The edges are not clear, and when you zoom in further, there's nothing there, which is crazy. But the thing is, the energy, like if everything is made of energy, the things that we have in our three-dimensional world are just the energy is so dense. That is why we can feel the things that we're sitting on. We can feel the things that we're wearing. We can feel our bodies. And but there are also kinds of energy that are much lighter, such as like the sunlight. The light is energy. The air is energy. Like we can feel those things, but we can't like grasp them. And then there is the energy of like your spirit, your soul. So I can feel energies in that like my dominant clair is the clairsentience, but it's not just with feeling emotions of other people, it's feeling like stuff on the surface of my skin when there's like nothing there. Like I'll get the tingling, I'll get the heat, I'll get the coolness, I'll get like little like vibrations, I'll get like buzzing. And what I want to say is like when I work with people, I can feel that they have things. A lot of people have shields over their hearts. So, and I work with people to basically remove those shields. Now, you may notice a difference immediately. You may notice that you feel lighter, or it could be something that you need to kind of integrate over time. When I say you have a shield over your heart, like it literally is just like in my mind, and it may look different to everybody, but in my mind, the shield over your heart literally looks like a shield, like a round shield. Think like Captain America, but not Captain America. Think like maybe Renaissance or something. Or some people might have like a wooden shield, or it's just like they may have an encasement over an encasement, I don't know, over their hearts. It's different for everybody. Like I had one person who, when I tapped into their heart, it was covered completely with wood. And I had to ask them, I was like, what is the significance of wood in your life? And they said that they grew up on a farm, they were out in nature all the time and stuff. And I'm like, okay, can we turn the wood into compost and water the compost and put like seeds, like seeds to grow flowers into the compost. So there's still something there, but instead of it being something that is so hard, like wood, now it is soft soil with flowers growing out of it. So that you still have something there, but it's like more loving and it's more gentle and it's softer. And then if the person is ready to eventually get rid of that, then they can get rid of that if they desire.
So like visualizing, that's a big part of it, I guess, but they have
Yeah.
to accept it, right?
Yes. So, oh, that's another thing too, is if we're going to talk about ethics, I know that there are people out there who, someone told me something recently where if anybody, you need to get permission from the person in order to do something. If somebody, like if I am reading for somebody and they're like, my boyfriend is closed off or my boyfriend is blah blah blah, but I can tell he needs his chakras rebalanced. I can give him an energy healing. And then I do it without getting his permission, like that is not okay.
Right.
So yes, you definitely like need to get the permission of the person and they also need to be ready for it because if they're not ready to let that go, I remember even like a couple years ago, I had a Reiki practitioner working with me and she could feel that I had a shield, but the thing is it was like think of like actual like medieval armor that went over the front and the back of me, blocking off my heart. And she was like,
Wow.
you need to be okay with getting rid of this. Like, are you ready to get rid of this? And there was a part of me that was honestly scared to get rid of it. I was like, I need this. I need this to protect myself. But she walked me through it, and I was able to kind of thank the energy for being there, for protecting me, but that I am able to protect myself, and I don't need to have it there anymore.
So you're not just like walking around like naive, like you do have some kind of shield up. Is that right? Or
Well, if we're talking about like energetic shields, like, yeah, it's a good idea to protect yourself energetically from people. Not that it's in a way where it's protect as in like you're in danger. It's more like you don't want to absorb other people's garbage. Like everybody has garbage. And I give this example when I tell people, like, it's like when you're going hiking with somebody and they're like, hey, can you hold my trash really quick? And you're like, sure. And then they never take it back. And you're like, well, I don't want this. Like, this is heavy. I don't want this. So protecting yourself from the negativity that people may be experiencing, because everybody has their own shit that they're going through. So,
absolutely.
but you also have your own shit that you're going through. So the shield not only protects you from everybody else's garbage, but it protects them from your own garbage.
I don't know if I asked you last time, but like, how did you get to this place of being free? Because I see you as like a free, liberated person who is in tune with themselves. So like, how did you get started? And like it's fascinating just talking to you because not a lot of people really know a lot about themselves, nor do they really want to dive into that.
That's oh well thank you. And that's the thing is it does take a level of bravery to do that, to be willing to face your shadows, to face the uncomfortable emotions. I started working with a mentor, I think it was literally like it was a little bit over a year ago. And She's the one that helped me work through the first layer, if you want to call it the first layer, of me with like my heart closed and not trusting myself. And it's so funny because when I was in DR in January, I learned that what I did last year was just scratching the surface. And what I did last year, while it was very important, it was just like there were more layers, there were deeper layers, and I'm still working through those layers. Um, so how did I do it? Yeah, it took me wanting change so badly that I was willing to seek mentors for assistance. Like actually, back in September of 2021 is I just kind of stumbled into this, honestly. Like I wanted to get hypnosis to cure my motion sickness because I wanted to go on amusement park rides with my niece. And I used to love going on like roller coasters and stuff, but then the motion sickness started to kick in. And the person I got matched up with was a psychic. And I was like, I want to be a psychic. And she told me that she was a life coach. And I'm like, life coach? Like, what is that? Like, I thought it was a scam. It's not a scam. Now I'm a life coach. Well, I don't even like the word coach because coach to me is like there's like a hierarchy thing, and I'm like I'm not better than anybody, buddy. Bleh. I'm not better than anybody, and like I'm a guide. So I was willing. I wanted it so bad that I paid this woman money to help me with developing my abilities. However, in the beginning, we did need to very much work through my traumas, which were incredibly painful. But she called me out on my shit, and I hated it so much. I wanted to stop working with her. And when I was about to tell her that I wanted to stop working with her, that is when she was like, okay, now we can work on your abilities. And I was like, okay, okay, I guess I'll stay. This is fine. Because I like she just like she really made me take responsibility for my part in everything. I was so much like a victim, blaming everybody around me for everything, and she made me stop that. So I wanted to be a medium, a psychic, so badly that I was like, I'm gonna pay this person to help me with that. And then I got into doing expos, and then I wanted to get deeper into my intuition, which I was aware, like my own traumas, my emotions that I was not connected to myself, which I paid somebody else to help me with that. And then like I just have been investing in mentors literally since September of 2021. And that's kind of how I've gotten to where I am today. Like you will meet people synchronistically. I even met somebody when I had my podcast who is now my current coach because I saw her and I was like, she is living a version of a life that I want to live. I want to do that. So it really does it takes guts. It takes so much to keep showing up for yourself over and over and over again and to keep choosing you, to set the boundaries, to say no, to speak up for yourself. We are our own prisons. And that's something that I learned also very recently. Like I was aware of that. I know that we are our limitation as we are our liberation. But like
Wow.
me, I have been obsessed with freedom and adventure and exploration and connection. And I learned yesterday, literally yesterday, that while I can experience freedom and connection by doing things such as traveling, by having conversations with people, I need to do that for myself. Because if I continue to seek those things externally without turning it around into myself and feeling those things for myself, because I am the one who generated those feelings. I am the one who generated the feelings of freedom and love and adoration and admiration for people around me. Like my heart is continuing to open. Even the other night I went to this like it was kind of like think like line dancing, but not really that, but like it's like a ballroom dancing kind of a thing. And just watching some of the people there with how much fun they were having and how they were being themselves unapologetically. And I'm like, I am falling in love with people who are themselves unapologetically. And then I'm like, well, wait a second. And it's the same when people talk about their passions. When someone talks to me about something that they're so passionate about and I can feel that passion, I'm like, oh my gosh, I adore this person. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I do that. I talk about how much passion I have for travel, how I want to see the world, how I want to experience other cultures. I do that. Can I turn this around and feel that for myself? Can I admire myself? Can I adore myself? Because I am doing the same thing that I am admiring and adoring other people for. So, and it's funny because like I could travel the world, and while that would be absolutely amazing, and yes, I do want that spirit. I'm telling you that still I want that very much. Yes. Um, the freedom has to come from within me because I am the one who is trapping myself.
When I look at you, I definitely see a guide. Like, I feel like you have the knowledge, the experience, the information to like bring me into where I need to be with freedom. So I don't like look at you as like a coach, so to speak, but I
Great.
think you're definitely a guide, and I feel that in my spirit. Like when I talk to you, I'm like, man, I really want to work on me. Like every time that we talk, I guess that's the feeling I get. And so I appreciate you taking the time to work on you. And
Thank you.
so, yeah. Um, I know we've been jumping all over the place.
That's okay.
Another thing I want to talk about with you is the afterlife. What's your knowledge of that?
So, what I've learned is actually everything is happening all at the same time. Like the past is happening now and the future is happening now. And I know that sounds kind of crazy and it just is
That
so,
sounds cool.
it is cool. It is cool. Just think of like alternate dimensions, alternate timelines. So technically, I am, oh God, this is so weird. I am being born right now in some other timeline. Like we talk about reincarnation, but from what I've learned, it's all of it is happening at exactly the same time because there is no past and there is no future. It is only now. So we, ugh, while we can shift timelines, it's just we have this illusion that what we are experiencing is linear. But the way that I've heard it described is as when you watch a movie, like pretend that you're in an old movie theater and it has one of those like film projector things in the back. When you're watching the movie, you're watching it from start to finish. But if you pull that roll of film out and you stretch it out in front of you, you're seeing the whole movie all at the same time.
That's good.
So, yeah, I do still kind of subscribe to the idea of the past lives and the future and things like that, even though technically all of it is happening right now. But that's only because that is what my brain can make sense of right now. So until I can make more sense logically out of the everything is happening right now, I can give myself the grace and the permission to be like, oh, past lives and future lives. And like, yes, this happened in the past and this happened in the future, when really, technically, it's all happening right now. And I know that doesn't make any sense, but that is what I've learned. And I am still like integrating that.
I'm learning about that too with my own life. I know you mentioned, and I don't want to misquote, but you said I think it was with one of your toxic relationships. that they made an agreement with you in the past. You remember saying that?
Wait, was this the thing where I was saying that, like, before we came to this planet, we had an agreement for him to basically treat me like trash so that I could learn?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. That is something I learned through one of my healings was when I was doing a guided meditation, basically, and I met his spirit, his soul in this, think of like Greece, like kind of like, like in Hercules, they have like the Colosseum or whatever. Kind of something like that with the pillars. And I was so pissed at him. But the energy that I was feeling off of him was, you asked me to do this. This was, I did exactly what you wanted and what you needed. And I was like, holy shit.
Was that all part of helping to form you into who you are today?
Oh
Is
my
that what you
God,
believe now?
yes. Yes.
So
Like,
even though it
oh,
was traumatic, like it was part of your destiny, so to speak, or
yeah, yeah. It
or
maybe
I mean,
it maybe didn't need to go on as long as it did, but that was me. That was my decision. I had one point in our timeline at that point where I could have said no. I could have stepped away. But I decided to extend the lesson another like 2.5 years. So we
since that session, have you been able to identify other things like that in your life where there were agreements made
technically, I
in your
think
life?
that they're everywhere. They're
Yeah.
everywhere, like with my parents, with my friends, with people that I meet and know for a day, like with society. It's all actually perfect. It's crazy. Even people who like support the political side that I don't exactly appreciate, I will say that. Um, I understand that they are where they need to be, that they are doing what they think is best for them, that they have their own upbringing, their own wounds, their own traumas. Where, like, I will say, even with me growing up, like, I used to have I used to support, like, I will just say, I guess technically I want to be more like independent, but I guess I'm more on the Democratic side. I don't really do the politics anymore. I
Me
fucking
either.
hate it. I hate
Yeah.
it, but like I'll vote. I will vote, but I don't pay attention to the politics. But what I'm saying is back then I like my parents were they were Republican and I was like, yeah, Republicans because my parents say that that's the right party to go with and that is the party that I want. And then eventually I started to develop my own opinions and that was my path. My path was to develop my own opinions and to be like, "Oh, I actually like this, and I actually like this, and I don't like this, and I don't like this." And they can have those opinions, and it's not my job to try to change that because I will be honest and say I did try to change them because this was years ago. This is a long time ago. I did try to change them, and that was not my responsibility. And it did cause a lot of strife. It caused a lot of problems. And now I just have to kind of accept everything exactly as it is and them exactly as they are because I want them to accept me as I am. So, yeah, I don't even remember what the question was. What the hell was I? Where did I go?
I asked, have you recognized other
Oh,
relationships or things like that
yeah. So, like, even though, like, it
from
looks like the world is kind of a shit show right now. Like, I know everything's kind of a shit show,
always?
but it's happening for a reason. Like, we're all learning something from all of this. Whether we choose to do something with those lessons and with those learnings is one thing, or we can just continue to every single one of us, we could all just play the victim. Which
I
would you
think
like to do?
I want to choose personal freedom and then get to the place where I can help other people. That's my goal. And like living that life of freedom, like it's so exciting. Like I feel like rejuvenated, I feel energetic. Like there's so much that there's out there for us to learn and experience versus just being, doing
Yeah.
everything that everyone else does, I guess,
Yeah.
society.
I remember even being a kid and okay, you go to high school and then you go to college because the teachers tell you to go to college. Like my parents never told me to go to college. They just said, like do whatever I really wanted. And the teachers are the ones who are like, go to college and you'll make more money and you'll be super successful and blah, 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 which was actually kind of the opposite. It was kind of like a failed social experiment where instead of us making a shit ton of money from going to college, it was like the value of a bachelor's degree decreased to the value of a high school diploma, and the value of a high school diploma decreased to almost nothing. So, um, wow, where was I going with that?
I think I'm way past this whole notion of trying to be rich.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Oh
Wait.
yeah, I'm past that.
Okay. Then I remember I got out of college and I was like, and I got a job. I mean, I've been working since I was 15 technically, but I'm like, this is it? Like, this is what I do for the rest of my life? I just go to
Boring.
work every fucking day. I go to work every day and that's it. And they're like, yep, that's just how life works. Now, honestly, if I do, it's weird because when I say I want to be rich, it's not because I want all of like the fancy house and the yacht and whatever. I want enough money. I want so much money that I can go where I want, when I want,
I
and
got you.
and bring people with me, pay for them, donate to charities. Like pay for the guy's freaking groceries who can't afford his bill. Like, I want to do things like that. I want so much money that I can do whatever I want and help other people.
Yeah.
So when I say I want to be
Yeah.
rich, it's like I do, but
Yeah.
I don't want to hog it, if that makes sense.
I want to have a life that's like fulfilled. And I agree, like being able to help people. I do see a lot of people, and obviously you know this because your eyes are open, that people just take, and buy things for themselves. So that's a really awesome thing to like want to give back. Do you think that, do you do that now?
Do I like pay for people's stuff now? If I have the ability to do it. Like I don't know. Like I drive by and I see like, the high school like soccer team or the lacrosse team and they're all standing outside for the fundraiser. I want to be able to just give them all the freaking money. Like if you have the guts to stand outside and be like, "Here, pay for our fundraiser" or something, like that takes a lot of guts to do. I mean, you might be doing it with friends, but like I want to give them money for that. I want to give money to somebody who maybe can't afford their electric bill. I want to give money to somebody who like I want to tip a lot when I go out to
Yeah.
eat. I want
Like
to just
ridiculous amounts.
share all of it. Yes. I want to have so much money that I can do that, that I can pay it forward, that I can like it's just I want to help everybody.
Does this, isn't this like part of manifesting? Or I don't know what your definition of manifesting is, but if you're doing it now, won't it just keep growing? Isn't that how it works?
Technically, yes, but like it also has something to do with like the energy and what you do it. So like if you donate, but you're doing it from a place of like lack or scarcity, then you might just end up attracting more lack and scarcity, and that kind of sucks. So if you can donate and do it from a place of like gratitude and being like, yeah, I made a freaking difference today. Be grateful for yourself for choosing to help somebody that wanted or needed the help. And I'm like, it's funny because like I know I've done it other times. Like, even like when it's like the holidays and you got the Salvation Army standing outside with the little bucket and whatever, and there's a guy ringing the bell. Like, there's so many things. There's so many ways that you can just share wealth, that you can share abundance. And I have been manifesting going back to the jungle. I
Yeah.
want to be a jungle girl. So I don't know how, but I just honestly, I like every day I just daydream about being back in the jungle and just walking through the woods and walking through creeks. And yeah, so like whenever that decides to come back into my life, I would openly welcome that, but also no attachment at the same time.
Do you see yourself living in the US, like
I
down the
would
road? Have you visualized
prefer
that?
I would prefer not to be in the US because I don't have a desire to travel the states. I have a desire to be in different cultures. Like even when I was in DR in January, as I went through the week, I was like, I want to learn Spanish. I want to learn how to communicate with people because I knew hola, adios, gracias. That was it. And now I'm like, I'm on Duolingo. I'm learning Spanish because I want to go to Costa Rica. I want to go to like even places. I want to go to Egypt. I want to go to Poland. I want to go to Greece. I want to go to Japan. I want to go to like all the places. I want to go everywhere. So I just focus on how much I want to travel. And I have had opportunities come for me to do that. So if I just keep focusing on what I want and not on what I don't want, I should be able to continue to attract these opportunities for me.
Yeah. And then because you're well in tune, I think too, when you go to these places, other opportunities are just going to open up as well.
Yes. Yes. Oh
And
my
you'll be able
goodness.
to see them. So,
Yeah, I am excited. I will say sometimes I do go into my little fear mindset and I'm like, "Oh my God, I am terrified for the future. I don't know what's going to happen. I have no control over anything." But I can choose to switch into the mindset of, "Wow, where am I going to go? Who am I going to be? Like, what is going to happen? What are these things? Like, I know I want this and I want this and I want this, and just kind of see what happens." But like the point is also to do it without attachment, which I do find a little bit difficult to not be attached to the things that I want. But that you basically solve that problem by being okay with where you are now. And a lot of people are not okay with being where they're at right now. But you're on a journey. It's all a journey. If you're so focused on getting to the finish line is dying.
yeah.
So,
Wow.
yeah,
That's good. Enjoy the journey, the day, every day.
yeah.
That's really good. Um, I know, I know that you have clients. So, and I'm not going to hold you too much longer, but when someone first comes and they ask for your services, what do you tell them? What is the first thing you teach them?
Oof. In readings or in like the coaching guidance thing?
The guidance.
Okay. So, really, first off, it's like nothing is a coincidence. Everything is all synchronicities, and that they are exactly where they need to be right now. That yes, you can get to where you want to be. You can have the life that you desire. A lot of the people that I work with are they're mirrors of me from the way that I used to be, which is kind of how all this stuff works. So being very stuck in your mind. Like my brain, if you look at my astrology chart, my Mercury is on steroids basically, and Mercury is about thinking and communication and things like that. And so my brain is in a way my superpower, but it has also in the past been my downfall. So it's really getting people to slow down because people's nervous systems are so fried. They're so
Uh-huh.
wired right now. And knowing that it is okay to be where you're at and that you are working on yourself, you are choosing you, that there is no right or wrong, there is no good or bad, that we are the ones who assign meaning to everything. because we've been taught to do that. And just like, and as we work together, giving them like little reframes of their situation. So when a lot of the people that like are mirrors for me do the black and white thinking or the all or nothing thinking or the catastrophizing, which is not fun. It's very stressful and makes you feel like you need to run to save your life, basically. So it's like I'm teaching them, I'm kind of like helping them or guiding them to know it is okay to take a break. It is okay to take a nap. It is like your to-do list is always going to be there. It is always going to continue growing, and you need to be the one to make the time for you to slow down and just be. So basically, helping them understand that they're not stuck. They just need some clarity. Right now, everything is so clouded because we are all we really do get trapped in our own minds. And sometimes we need to help each other pull ourselves out of our minds to see things as they really are, to ask if something is actually true. So, example, is it true that if I take a nap, I am lazy? No, but we beat ourselves up for taking a freaking nap because we're like, well, I have this to do and I have this to do. Like, it's going to be there when you wake up.
I say that to myself sometimes. And so I need to be signing up. Um, so when does a person get to the place where they say, okay, or when do you decide, okay, this person, they're good. They don't need me, so to speak. Does it ever come to that place, or are they always reaching out to you to
It
learn?
I want to guide in a way where there is no codependency that results from it, because like I have done that before where I was codependent on a coach and I paid her for like a year and a half, and I'm like, "Oh, I don't want people to become codependent on me." So what I will do, at least like, because I usually work with people in either like 1 month time frames or 3 month time frames, I'll ask them at the end of that time frame, do you feel like you're good? Do you feel like you can continue on? Like, do you need more support? Do you want more support? Do you want to basically renew for another X period of time? And if they say yes, cool, we'll do that. If they say no, also amazing. But I also need to be mindful of when somebody may actually be kind of where they need to be, but they need to trust themselves. Because when somebody is kind of codependent on somebody else, it's because they don't trust themselves. Whatever.
I've been very careful about that too. Now, I do ask people for help, but I think in order to build that confidence for me, I have to like be okay with making my choice.
Yeah,
Like, oh, should I take this job, or I need to get to the place where I can see, is this the right job for me, or
yeah,
whatever it is.
yeah.
So, have you thought about writing a book?
I actually, oh, okay. Well, I was supposed to write a chapter in an anthology. That was supposed to. I actually did write a chapter for an anthology, but the thing is, it did not pan out the way that it was supposed to. It was one of my lessons. It was one of my lessons. So, but I have thought about it. I honestly don't even know what I would write it about, but I have been excited over the idea of having a book, of publishing a book. And so I think maybe one day I'll get the inspiration at some point and be able to share that, because if I am going to write a book, I want it to be something that is going to actually really be beneficial for people to read, where they can get something out of it.
Maybe you get it from your travels.
That would be amazing.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So, do you have any goals for 2025 or anything you're working on?
Oh, um, I'm working on figuring out what direction I'm going in with my business, but I also feel like I don't feel like I'm meant to stay in Pennsylvania. I think I am meant to be somewhere else. And that's kind of sort of what the Colorado thing I think is about, to figure that out. Is it Colorado? Maybe, maybe not. Um, but I also want to get into like plant medicine facilitation. So that is another thing that I want to pursue, that I think that that is something that I'm also really meant to do. It's just that it will take a lot of, in a way, like training and education, because you need to be very careful that you don't set somebody backwards. Like you need to be really trauma informed. And yeah, I'm just kind of open to all the things at this point. And I guess more goals technically would be more travel. I want to go to all the places. But in terms of like, I also am going to work on getting certified in NLP for my coaching, because that for me has been very helpful. And I would like to do that. I would like to be able to provide that for others.
With the plant medicine, is that more of the a natural approach to medicine? Is that what you're talking about?
Plant medicine, this is like when you enter an altered state of consciousness. And that is how you work through your stuff. So like I mentioned earlier, I was in a
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
yes. And so when I
Gotcha.
was under the plant medicine, that's when I was doing the Ho'oponopono prayer. And then the thing with my cat came up, and that was when I was just freely able to just sob and release that. Whereas if I had tried doing that not under the plant medicine, not much would have happened at all.
Yeah. I think you probably would have been in your mind too much. I
Oh
think
yeah.
it's really a spiritual thing. That's my take from it,
Yeah.
because I've been a part of the plant medicine, and it's transformed my way of
Yeah.
thinking, and I think it uncovered parts of my brain that were dormant. It allowed me to feel and
Yeah.
go deep into those places. Yeah. Kudos.
Yeah. No,
That's awesome.
I've gotten a lot out of my own journey with the plant medicine. Like one of the first things I learned about myself is it is not safe to love and it is not safe to be loved, which is very interesting because now I'm over here like,
That is.
I love this person for speaking about their passions. Oh, I love this person because they're being themselves. And I'm like, wow, look at me with my heart freaking opening up. I'm like, oh, look at me. I love myself for following my passions and for choosing me. A lot has changed. A lot has happened.
Do you do you think that I don't know which plant medicine it was, but um I know society is kind of against that, so to
Yeah.
speak. And I think it's because it is liberating, and people open their third eye, and
Mm.
they open their eyes, and I don't know, but I think that's pretty cool.
It's also because of just like the way that we're conditioned in society. Because if you kind of notice, the things that are discouraged are the things that actually set us free.
That's good. That should be on a shirt. That's good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So last thing, how's your view on food as it relates to your spirit, your body, and all that? How do you eat, or do you eat a
Oh
certain way?
God. Well, I do eat a certain way, but it's mainly because I've had all these stomach issues, like my lower abdomen, like small intestine, like I have a candida thing going on and stuff. The thing is, I'm pretty sure that this is actually part of my journey, because the people that I have met synchronistically from seeking help for this issue have also led me to where I am now. And I've met so many incredible people because of my gut issues. Now, in terms of the spiritual part of it, I feel like the more natural foods, things like vegetables and fruits and even like meat and all that, it does, I believe it does help you connect more with your body. I will say when mm, when I eat processed foods, like yes, they're delicious. If I eat too many processed foods, I just kind of feel sort of disconnected. When I quit sugar, back in September of 2021, because my first coach was like, you need to not eat sugar. You're eating way too much sugar and it is blocking your abilities, my psychic abilities. That was literally like the hardest, it's one of the hardest things I ever had to do was going cold turkey on sugar. But stuff started happening for me. I started having things like it was my first time hearing a spirit. It was my first time feeling things on my legs, which would be like little like elementals. It was like stuff started to open up for me. So when you do eat like a cleaner diet, you generally are more open, you are more connected. The chemicals in food do a really good job of shutting that off.
It's interesting. Do you think that's purposefully placed, or is it just our bodies don't react?
Some people say that it is. Uh, and then
That's
when
interesting.
I say I think what they mean by purposely is it's not that people are consciously going, let's do what we can to get people to be disconnected. It's here's another thing. So I got certified in dark arts Akashic records clearing basically. I go into your Akashic records, I clear a bunch of the shadow energies, curses, spells, binds, dark energies, demonic entities, things like that. There are people walking around out there with demons in them,
Mm,
and that will fuck up your health. It'll mess up your life, and like you don't even realize it. Like I recently cleared a demon from someone, and
wow.
now it's like things like because for her it was like she even said that she felt like it was like somebody put a curse on her or something. Everything was going wrong, nothing was going right, and now it's like things are settling down. Things are shifting, things are moving forward for her. And I'm like, that's really cool. What was also interesting is after I released that, she got sick, which makes sense because your body is purging that energy. You're now, I guess, calibrating to the higher frequency because you no longer have that entity within you anymore. I don't want anybody listening to be afraid of this because we are always more powerful than any demonic entities. We are always more powerful than any of that.
That's good. Yeah.
So if you're listening and you're like, oh my God, I might have a demon inside of me or something, then cool, let's get that fucker out. Like it's not a big deal in that sense. Like you're not the whole thing with horror movies, it makes it seem like it's so much scarier or life-threatening than it really is, but we are sovereign beings. We are more powerful than any energy, any spirit, because we are in bodies, because we have a body. We get to decide who occupies our space and who doesn't, basically. So, I don't remember where I was going with that, but now people know that that stuff actually does exist. And oh, yeah, there's also like the shadow energies. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So, like, there are people out there who are walking around, they don't even know that they have this stuff within them. They have no idea. So, but the thing is, you can't you can't get it out of them unless they like actually want it, unless they give permission. Otherwise, they're just walking around with all those. There's things like dark sisterhood, dark brotherhood, dark motherhood, dark fatherhood, dark queen, dark lord, Illuminati, shadow watchers. Like
Wow.
there's so many different kinds of shadow energies out there, and they all serve a purpose. So like dark sisterhood is meant to diminish your intuition, just
Can
as an
you
example.
recognize this stuff in people?
I guess I can. Like I don't have it memorized off the top of my head, but when I was doing my own clearing and seeing all the shadow energies that were coming up that were in my field, like both internally in my body and also just externally in my field, I was like, well, that makes sense. That's why that's showing up. Oh, one of them is anxiety. Oh, great. I have lots of anxiety. That's cool. Let's get rid of that.
Yeah. I don't know if you do fasting, but I've also noticed like fasting awakens me more spiritually. Do you do that?
I have done fasting. I've actually tried fasting with the whole gut health issue thing. I did a 3-day water fast at one point. It did not solve my problems, but yeah, and I did notice that like I was very, very foggy, like with because I know like with the candida thing, as that is dying off, you get like the die off symptoms, and I just like I had no clarity mentally for the first at least like 24 hours. But yeah, I do kind of want to get back into intermittent fasting, but I if I'm gonna do it, I want to do it the quote right way, which is like if you're gonna have coffee or tea, it's got to be black coffee, black tea, plain tea, plain green tea, and I'm like, ugh, those are all so gross.
Yeah, that's what I do is the intermittent fasting. So
Yeah.
um, I'm not going to keep you too much longer. Is there anything else you want to share for the audience or anything? I could
Oh my
talk
goodness.
all day to you.
We can do this a third time if you would like.
Yeah,
So,
hell yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Maybe when you get back from Colorado, if it's something to share with us, you can tell us
Yeah,
about it.
sure. What do I want the audience to know? I don't know how to say. I know that like I said everything is a shit show right now, especially in America, but like I feel the world is going in a better direction in terms of the energy. I don't know how to describe it. I'm just saying that like I feel like things they may not get better immediately, but something is happening, something is changing, something is shifting, and I feel like we are going to be going into brighter times, into lighter times. So
With the world or America?
I want to say the whole world, America is just kind of struggling a little bit, in a lot of ways, but it kind of needs to happen. That whatever is happening right now needs to happen because it's bringing all of the shadows to the surface. The shadows
Wow,
were always there, but now we can see them.
that's good. Wow.
The only way
Well,
to transmute that is to face the shadow.
yeah, that's good. And that I think ultimately will lead to better times. We can see like what's going on in the background so we can try to fix them, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe something like that.
Something's gonna happen. Oh my God. I mean, maybe there will be a revolution. Maybe there won't be a revolution. I have no idea. I just know, what was it like? Ugh, however many hundreds, 100 and something years ago. I don't remember. I just know that when Pluto shifted into Aquarius the last time it did that, I believe that that was like the start of the last Revolutionary War, which is kind of crazy. Something like that.
Are you kind of to piggyback off the astrology? So like we're in the month of April. I had to look down for that.
Uh,
Is there anything fascinating going on with April that you pick up?
All the planets right now are direct. I will say we are now in Taurus season, which is my season, and that is about comfort and security and maybe a little bit of stubbornness. So basically, I can't remember exactly what it was. Like there's an invitation for this season for you to kind of like allow yourself to explore those areas, explore the confidence in yourself, explore the things that make you feel good. Like I'm not talking about like addictive things. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean like I don't know, maybe you like to go out in nature. Maybe you like to take hot baths. Maybe you just feel comfortable talking to people. It's where can you find the safety and security within yourself?
And you've never thought about doing a podcast again, or is that just not your desire?
Might want to do a podcast again one day. I would need to know what exactly I would like to talk about. I just remember when I was doing it, it was I didn't have the capacity energetically to be able to hold that and do all the things that I needed to do. So
Gotcha.
I love being a guest on people's podcasts because I get to know people, I get to talk to people. Um,
Yeah.
if I were to do a podcast again, I would need to it would be a lot like tighter, if that makes sense. It wouldn't just be me looking to have guests and just talk about whatever, because that's kind of what it was when I had a podcast, because it was
Yeah.
um
Some kind of direction, I guess.
yeah. I would love it if like I could do like a channeled podcast where like I just channeled messages for people to listen to every week. Um,
Are you okay with like doing what you're doing, or do you feel like you have a message for the world to hear?
I know that I am meant for something so much greater than what I do now. I'm not 100% sure what that is yet, but what I want to live as an example for people. So if I am doing something or if I'm saying something, I want to like live that. If people are going to look up to me, if you want to, like I said, I don't like the hierarchy thing. Yeah, okay. If people look to me as an example, like I want to show people that it is possible to have the freedom. It is possible to love yourself. It is possible to love others. It is possible to actually choose you and say yes to your dreams and to do all those things. And I want to be that example for people. Like I said, it's been very challenging. It's been very hard, but it has been so rewarding at the same time. So that was also kind of my inspiration with leaving my job is I wanted to show people that it was possible to to choose you, to break away from the matrix, if you want to call it that.
That's a good way to put it. I think just your message on how the way you describe things, like for me, it's just eye opening for me. With removing the shields on my heart and stuff like that. And so
Hmm.
just that message alone is powerful. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, I appreciate you coming back on, and um, I hope that you find everything that you're looking for in Colorado and you have fun.
Whatever that is I'm looking for. I have no idea. I guess
So
clarity, maybe some clarity, but yes, I would like to have fun. I think I am going to have fun, and I think I'm going to see some beautiful freaking mountains. And I would like to take, there's like a train that goes up to Pikes Peak and it's like 14,000 feet. And I'm like,
I've been up there. Yeah.
wait, how was it?
Oh, it's insane. It's beautiful. If you drive up it, I don't know how you are about heights, but um, yeah, you're on the edge of a cliff, basically, going up it. But it's something like when I went and did it, I was like, oh, I got this.
Yeah?
It challenged me, and then when I made it to the top, I was like, you know what? I grew from that whole experience going up there. Yeah, it's 14,000 feet up. You can do the train or you can drive up there.
Oh, I can
But yeah,
drive.
I mean, it's
Oh,
going straight up. It's beautiful.
really?
Yeah,
Ooh,
I love it. Yeah.
amazing. Wait, how long does it
So
take to
just
drive up? Do you remember?
hour and a half, maybe.
Oh, damn. Okay. Cool.
I mean, if you're going slow, I mean, I was probably going like 10, 12 miles an hour, like,
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes
because I'm
sense.
like, oh,
Yeah, yeah.
um, there's some spots with no rails and stuff. So you're kind of like, I want to
Woo!
be safe. But I do recommend bringing a jacket because it's a little colder at the top.
Yeah,
So
nice.
but it's pretty cool. They have a visitor center. You'll love it.
Amazing. Awesome.
Yeah. So, well, I'll catch you later, and thank you again for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is great.
Absolutely. Have fun.
Thanks.
Bye bye.